This is Izzy, and I'm Tom. Do you think that teachers at private and Catholic schools need less class management skills than public? Here's what you have to say.
Well, I just think that all teachers should be equipped appropriately regardless of whether they teach in a public or a private school. Like, I think that behaviour management is something that we all need to know how to do, and no teacher should need to do it more than any other teacher.
Regardless of the type of school, all teachers do need the same level of class management. One of the most important things is that all students are learners, and regardless of behaviour, they all should be given the opportunity to develop to their potential. Another point is, I feel mostly important, is building relationships with students, and this is regardless of their behaviour again. And also a key point in class management. If you're able to build relationships with students, it's going to help develop their learning.
I would suggest that there's more variation in schools than between schools, in the sense that at both schools I've worked at, in the public and Catholic education systems, I had really high performing teachers that are really good at managing their class and engaging students and keeping them on task. And then I've had teachers I've worked with that aren't so good at that, don't have the skill set required to be able to sort of navigate and manage the classroom effectively. So I would say from my experience in both settings, it's just variable depending on the competency of the teacher.
I think it definitely is. I've seen students out in the public from a public school who are less well behaved than the students that I take out, and you just sense that the compassion and respect is not there as much in a public system as what it is in a Catholic system.
All right, that was really interesting. As you can see, there's a lot of different opinions on the topic. So we've done some digging, and here's what the research suggests.
What helps students learn is a research paper looking at the main contributing factors to learning. It found that direct influences were found to have a greater impact on learning than indirect influences. What are these influences?
Well, Tom, these direct influences are things like the amount of time a teacher spends on the topic and the quality of the interactions the teachers have with the students, whereas indirect influences are things such as the policy of the school and the type of school.
Very good. Now here's a graph based on the data starting from the most influential at the top to the least influential at the bottom.
This puts the teacher and classroom management central to the learning, regardless of the school being public, private or Catholic. In an international teaching and learning survey, the results found that teaching resources were more substantial in private schools than in the public setting.
It's interesting to note that private schools have more resources to use at their disposal, which may allow them to use classroom management skills more effectively, in which Zyger's research found smaller classes to be more effective in teaching.
With this being said, it cannot be assumed that better teaching resources guarantees the teacher will have a greater level of skill in class management in private schools.
It is quite alarming that the current retention rate of teachers is only at 50% after 5 years. Half of you aren't going to make it. Why is this? The article Pre-Service Teacher Training links this with the lack of class management skills being taught at university level.
It's not that any particular school is harder or easier to manage, but it's that teachers may not have acquired the sufficient skills at university. Understanding that students learn in the same environment, one in which they feel safe, confident and respected, infers that if this environment is established within any school setting, quality learning can occur.
So if there's one thing to take away from this presentation, it's not to undermine your value as a teacher in the classroom, as it is key to allowing children to flourish and learn.
Quality education is more about structure, discipline and skilled teachers, and this does not matter whether the school is private, Catholic, or a public school. To conclude, these are the 3 main points from the video.
Direct influences and indirect influences. Teachers have more an effect on kids' learning rather than policy or school type.
While private schools generally have more resources and smaller class sizes, this does not mean that the teacher requires less classroom management skills.
While there is an alarming retention rate for teachers due to lack of classroom management skills, pre-service teachers are taught to be effective teachers and not to cater for a sector, be it public, private or Catholic.